He held a position of immense trust. As cupbearer to King Artaxerxes I, the most powerful man in the Persian Empire, Nehemiah lived in the heart of the royal court. He tasted the king's wine, ensuring it wasn't poisoned, a role that granted him constant, intimate access to power. But in the mid-5th century BCE, news from 1,000 miles away reached him in the palace at Susa. It was about his homeland, Jerusalem. The city of his ancestors was a ruin. Its protective walls were rubble, its gates burned with fire. The Jewish community that had returned from exile was defenseless, vulnerable, and shamed. The report crushes him. For days, he weeps and prays. Then, he acts. Leveraging the trust he's built with the king, Nehemiah doesn't just ask for permission to leave, he presents a plan. He asks for letters granting safe passage and for timber from the royal forest to rebuild. The king, seeing the deep sorrow on his face, agrees. Around 444 BCE, Nehemiah arrives in Jerusalem, not as a mourner, but as the new governor of Judah. For 3 days, he says nothing.
Then, under the cover of night, he secretly rides out to inspect the city's perimeter. He sees for himself the broken stones and charred gates, the true scale of the desolation. He gathers the city's leaders and reveals his mission. "You see the trouble we are in," he says. "Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and we will no longer be in disgrace." His vision is contagious. The people rally, shouting, "Let us rise up and build." They divide the work, family by family, each taking responsibility for a section of the wall. But as the stones begin to rise, so does the opposition. Neighboring officials, Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the Ammonite, see a fortified Jerusalem as a threat to their own power. They start with mockery. Sanballat sneers, "What are these feeble Jews doing?" Tobiah adds that if even a fox climbed on their wall, it would collapse. When ridicule fails to stop the work, the threats escalate. Sanballat and his allies conspire to attack the city and throw the project into chaos. The workers grow fearful. Nehemiah's response is a masterstroke of leadership. He sets up a guard day and night. Then he arms the builders themselves. He tells them, "Do not be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your families." From that day on, half the men worked while the other half stood guard with spears, shields, and bows. The builders themselves worked with one hand and held a weapon in the other. Every person was both a construction worker and a soldier. Against all odds, the wall is completed. The gaps are closed, the gates are hung. The entire project, from start to finish, takes an astonishing 52 days. This isn't just a legend. In recent years, archaeologists excavating in Jerusalem's city of David have uncovered remnants of a wall, along with pottery and seals from the Persian period, offering a tangible link to Nehemiah's incredible feat. But Nehemiah knew that true restoration wasn't just about stone walls. It was about rebuilding a community. With the city now secure, he turned to reforming its soul. He enforced the observance of the Sabbath, ordering the city gates shut to stop merchants from working on the holy day. He addressed economic injustice, forcing wealthy nobles to cancel the debts of the poor. And alongside the priest, Ezra, he brought the law back to the center of public life. He was a leader who blended prayer with pragmatic planning, faith with a sword in his hand. He didn't just build a wall. He rebuilt a people's identity, giving them back their security, their dignity, and their purpose.